In the heart of the African savanna, a mother deer did something that would shake the very foundation of what we think we know about the animal kingdom. She adopted a lion cub. The rangers at Kruger National Reserve couldn't believe their eyes when they first spotted her, a graceful impala doe, standing protectively over a tiny, mewling lion cub, no more than 3 days old. The cub's mother had been killed by poachers, her body found stripped and everything valuable just 50 meters away. But this doe, this prey animal whose entire existence revolved around fleeing from predators, was gently nudging the orphaned cub with her nose, encouraging him to nurse. "This is impossible," whispered Dr. Elizabeth Thornton, the reserve's head veterinarian, watching through binoculars from their observation post. "Every instinct in her body should be screaming at her to run. Lions are her natural predators. Her species has spent millions of years evolving to fear them." But the doe, whom the rangers named Grace, didn't run. She stayed. She let the cub, later called Leo, drink her milk meant for her own fawn. She kept him warm during the cold nights. She groomed him with her tongue, teaching him to clean himself. When her biological fawn grazed nearby, Leo stumbled along on unsteady paws, trying to mimic the graceful movements of his adoptive brother. The rangers knew this arrangement couldn't last forever. Leo was growing rapidly, his carnivorous nature becoming more apparent with each passing week. They prepared to intervene, to separate them before tragedy struck. But Grace seemed to understand something they didn't. She began leading Leo to the carcasses left behind by other predators, letting him taste meat while she and her fawn ate grass nearby. She was teaching him to be what he was meant to be, even though it went against everything she was. Months passed. Leo grew larger, more powerful. The rangers received criticism from around the world. "You're letting that lion get too comfortable around prey animals. He'll never survive in the wild. You're creating a monster that doesn't know what it is." But Dr. Thornton noticed something remarkable. Leo was learning boundaries. When he played too rough with Grace's fawn, she would firmly headbutt him away, teaching him control. When he tried to stalk other impala, she would position herself between him and them, a living reminder of where his loyalties should lie. She was raising him to be a lion who understood mercy, a concept that seemed impossible to teach a predator. Then came the day everyone had been dreading. Leo was now 8 months old, nearly full grown, his mane just beginning to sprout. A group of young male lions, ousted from their pride, wandered into Grace's territory. They saw Leo, recognized him as a young male, and prepared to kill him as competition. This was nature's way: eliminate threats before they become powerful. Grace did something that still brings tears to Dr. Thornton's eyes when she tells the story. She stepped between Leo and the hostile males, her tiny body dwarfed by their muscular frames. She stamped her feet, snorted, and refused to move, even as they circled closer, confused by this prey animal's audacity. Leo, seeing his adoptive mother in danger, released a roar that shook the acacia trees. It wasn't the roar of a cub anymore. It was the roar of a lion who had found his voice. The young males, startled by Leo's sudden display of dominance and confused by the bizarre alliance before them, retreated. Grace had bought Leo the time he needed to become what he was meant to be, and Leo had just proven he would protect her with that power. The rangers made the difficult decision then. Leo needed to be with his own kind, but they couldn't simply abandon him to the harsh realities of lion society. They contacted a nearby reserve that had recently lost their dominant male to old age, leaving a pride of females without protection. It was a risk, but it was Leo's best chance. The introduction was tense. The lionesses circled the strange male who smelled of impala and showed no aggression toward the grazing animals at the reserve's edges. But Leo's unique upbringing had given him something rare in the lion world: patience and emotional intelligence. He didn't force himself on the pride. He proved himself slowly, bringing down prey and sharing generously, protecting their territory without the brutal violence typical of males establishing dominance. Within 6 months, Leo had been fully accepted. The pride flourished under his protection. And here's where the story takes its most stunning turn. Leo's pride became known for something unprecedented. They didn't hunt impala. With dozens of prey species available, Leo's pride consistently avoided impala even when they were the easiest targets. He had passed on Grace's final lesson to his new family. Dr. Thornton still monitors Leo, now 4 years old, and father to several cubs of his own. Grace lived to see him become king of his domain before passing peacefully at an old age for an impala. On the day she died, rangers reported that Leo stood at the border of his territory, looking toward where Grace's herd grazed in the distance, and released a long, mournful roar that echoed across the savanna. Nature isn't always red in tooth and claw. Sometimes it's a doe who sees a helpless cub and chooses compassion over instinct. Sometimes it's a lion who remembers the mother who taught him strength and mercy can coexist. Grace proved that love can transcend the boundaries we think are unbreakable, and Leo proved that the lessons of a gentle heart can change a king. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible, true animal stories that prove nature is far more beautiful and mysterious than we ever imagined.